The day had ended just as any other day would, with dinner preparation. The problem with tonight's dinner is all of my cutlery was grody at best, and I was tasked with cutting the potatoes. Joy. Began to turn on the sink to wash my tools for battle, a knife to remove the eyes, no big deal. Ow, I shouted. Nicked myself with the knife. Small cut to be sure, but painful nonetheless. I wrapped my finger with some paper towels, squeezed for 30 seconds, which would normally quell the bleeding, and success. Back to my task. I began removing the eyes from potatoes. This sucks. I groaned from my loathsome task. At this point, I began to notice the light but noticeable stains, a red hue on the potatoes as they weaved through my hands. Okay, I guess the bleeding hasn't stopped. Not a problem. I have some gauze and that will do the trick. Like a charm, I was no longer a biohazard and could continue the task. Success. The potatoes could no longer see and my tension had dropped just a little bit. Suddenly, a rapid pain gripped my hand. The entire time I hadn't noticed how engorged the gauze had gotten with blood. Okay, this sucks. Urgent care is closed. I don't want stitches. I've never had stitches. After some self-pep talks, I decided to go to the emergency room for a nick no wider than a quarter-inch. Why? I get in my car and drive toward the hospital, all the while feeling more as if I had amputated my own arm. I began sweating as small tinges of a panic attack began to set in. I arrive at the emergency room and amble to the front desk. Hi, my name is Logan. I cut myself and I can't stop bleeding. The clerk looks up from her desk with what originally resembled a face of great concern, followed by a face of great confusion. I don't see what the problem is, sir. I hold up my finger in anguish. It's all the lady can do to not audibly snicker at me. This is serious, I explain, and I really need some help. Okay, sir. Well, I need you to fill out some information and take a seat. We will get with you when we can. Please do. I know this seems ridiculous, but Hippocratic oath and all right. 30 minutes pass and it feels like an eternity before I hear, Logan Smith, you may now be seen by the doctor. Hello, Logan. So I was told you may have cut yourself pretty badly. May I see? I reluctantly, mainly from embarrassment, show them my bloody gauze-wrapped finger. I see you have protected the injury with gauze. It does not appear to be that bad, though, since the gauze isn't soaked with blood. I'm sorry. What? This gauze is absolutely soaked with blood. What do you mean, doctor? Logan, we have some very sick people who need my staff and I's care tonight. Not for petty scrapes. Remove the gauze and look at it for yourself. The doctor did as instructed, removed the gauze, looked at me steely-eyed and said, There is no laceration. There is nothing here. You appear to be fine, Logan. Okay. At this point I was losing my mind. So are you telling me this bleeding I am watching happen right now you see nothing? The doctor looks directly at me and says, No, I don't see anything. Perhaps we could recommend some psychiatric care? Excuse me? Did you just insinuate I am not only making this up, but that I may be having a mental crisis? Please, doctor, help run whatever tests you have to, but I cannot take this pain. I was instructed to follow and was placed in a room, where the tester ran for patients. We got to the part where they were going to check my vitals, blood pressure, heart rate, etc. They take the test, and suddenly the air shifts, from me appearing crazy to a dire situation. Logan, your heart rate is well below average, and your blood pressure is plummeting. We need to run more tests, but you exhibit signs of extreme blood loss. We will need to get you prepped for an immediate blood transfusion. A blood transfusion? Extreme blood loss? What? And that's the last thing I said before waking up some hours later. Logan, welcome back. I'm not sure how or why, but you did show signs of extreme blood loss. We were lucky to catch it when we did. The transfusion was a success and your levels have stabilized. That's great. Thank you, doctor. All this for some dinner. Absolutely ridiculous. But then a pain flared, and a slow, hot, wet drip from my finger fell to my hospital gown. The blood, the cut. I started bleeding again. Please, help me.